Me and my new friend Nerdy had a conversation yesterday. He is a Final Fantasy XIV streamer. He just started playing the game, I think just a few months ago, like 3-4 months ago. So he's still in A Realm Reborn. So we talked yesterday a bit about just making videos for Final Fantasy XIV content. He kind of got a big bump in subscribers, just like I did when I started covering the game. So we talked about that and the community, and also just as content creators, what do we do when we want to make videos other than Final Fantasy XIV? It's kind of a behind the music type talk a little bit. It's not really focused on like Final Fantasy XIV and like the story and the game and whatnot, because he's so early on into it. Couldn't really talk to him much about that. We kind of just talked more about me starting that, me quitting, and just like the thought process of like, hey, how do we make videos and still continue that we're interested in, that we want to do, that aren't just based on Final Fantasy XIV. Because when you create a niche on YouTube, you get kind of stuck and pigeonholed into that niche, because that's just how the YouTube algorithm works. So I talked about what I'm doing moving forward. He had some ideas of what he's doing, and we just kind of talked about games in general, and just had a good conversation. He's a really nice guy. He's really positive about the game. He's a really positive guy in general. So if you are looking for somebody to hang out with on Final Fantasy XIV, I think he's playing with the community a lot as well, and he also is sharing his experiences similar to what I've done. So yeah, go ahead and check him out. I'll leave a link to our whole conversation in the video, but I figured I'd just share a little bit of the conversation here as well, so you can check it out, and then go give Nerdy a like, follow, all that fun stuff, and yeah, talk to you guys later.
Do you see yourself creating any more content for Final Fantasy XIV in the future?
I've thought about it. I've thought about responding to some of the like the sentiments of the comments of people disagreeing with me, but it's just like, do I want to foster this thing where I'm arguing with people about their favorite game? Like, how is that going to, like, I can do it, but I'm just like, is that really what I want to do with my YouTube channel? Just argue with people and tell them that their favorite game's stupid? Like, that's so dumb. Like, like that's so mean, and it's just, it's not productive. I'm not going to change anyone's mind. At this point, what I said is definitely what I feel and think. So in my video of me quitting was like, right now, I don't foresee myself coming back to this right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So no Dawn Trail for you?
No, I mean, I didn't even finish Shadowbringers, which is going to make everyone extremely mad at me. Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. I'm still in A Realm Reborn, so I'm like, I've taken 4 months and I haven't even gotten like to the end yet. So yeah, I'm not judging you at all. Not at all. And I have games that I certainly don't click with, but it's interesting because some of the other influencers that I have been watching as well, they've had some criticism come out, and some of their like diehard, fans, they're like, they'll still support them. It's made me nervous to do further coverage, only because I'm in the same exact thought. Like, I don't want to have my brand feel like it's constantly flirting with, negative thoughts about games. So I've kind of put a pause on doing reactionary videos, only because when I did your reaction video, I actually was like, I'm like in bed scrolling through the comments, and I'm like, man, like, do people not think that there's a human on the other side of the screen when they're like writing these things?
Did
you know what I'm saying?
Were they giving me hate, and you just saved me from that by deleting those comments?
Well, there was a few where I was like, hey man, like, he's allowed to feel this way. Like, if MMOs aren't his tea, that's okay. And there were some, and I'm like, part of me is like, did they even watch through the video? Because I feel like they
probably not.
When I'm looking at my metrics, like, some of them don't even make it past their first 5 minutes, and I'm like, there's other things that Genji talked about that maybe you would have considered your comment to be a little bit different before posting. And so like I'm in bed that night on the mobile app, just like deleting comments, and I'm like, this is just like, I mean, first of all, like, I understand you love this game.
Oh, I love that.
But like, you don't have to be like actually mean, right? You don't have to be mean. And I don't know, like, that's something that's weird about YouTube. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things of like I've tried to think about it, of like, and I've tried to watch other people's like talk about it of like, hey, is there something specifically in like toxic about this community, or is it just the fact that the internet is toxic in general, And
Yeah.
yeah, because hey, I just made a video. People are like mad at me because I said I don't think Resident Evil 4 should be Game of the Year, or I don't think that Spider-Man 2 is probably. I mean, great game. We're gonna get hate comments from here. Great game. I'm absolutely sure it's a phenomenal game, but I'm just like, it's just Marvel again and again. I don't think there's anything groundbreaking with like another Spider-Man game. I'm sure it's absolutely great, but we have games like Baldur's Gate, like Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
We have games like Tears of the Kingdom or whatever. And then if you say that, people are going to argue that those games are stupid and not innovative. Anyways, my point is the fact that people get mad at me about everything on the internet. So it's hard for me to say that people specifically get mad at me in the Final Fantasy community. But then there is this other side of it of like, there's these comments that are just like 5 paragraphs of people telling me that I'm an idiot and that I'm wrong, and that I didn't do it right, and that I suck at the game, and that I didn't play it long enough, and that I didn't do enough side content, and that I didn't read this thing or missed it. I missed this thing. I didn't play the game right. My community did. People blame my community for not telling me what to do or something. There's so many things that people blame because they can't just be okay with the fact that somebody didn't have an amazing time with their favorite game.
So,
and go on. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna keep rambling. So please.
So when you were at, let's say when you were at the peak of your Final Fantasy 14 content, was there ever a part of you where you're like, I could see myself doing this like as my niche as long as I enjoy it? Like, was there ever a part of you where you're like, this could be my long-term thing?
Oh yeah. I was like, okay, we're doing like weekly videos. Okay, I'm gonna be updating people on this. I have an idea of a video of this. Like I had lists and lists, and some of those videos I made, and some of them I didn't. And I absolutely was like, I'm gonna be a Final Fantasy 14 streamer. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna get big. I'm gonna try to just totally get into this. And I mean, I feel like if I didn't criticize the game, I would have continued to grow. And I knew that. But then, you also know that it's like, okay, but I'm not being authentic if I'm just only saying positive things. It's so hard to say the things that I want to say without giving a billion caveats. And even if you do, people still get upset about it. So it's just like, it was bad for my mental health to just continue to, oh God, there's the buzzword, mental health.
No, but I'm glad you said that, because so I guess 2 questions for you is, now that you've kind of taken a step back, what are your long-term goals as just a content creator, streamer?
Yeah.
And when you say mental health, have you had experiences where you're looking at metrics and you're just like getting caught up in your head? Like, is that something that you have experienced as a content creator?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I look at it. But I don't I see it as a failure of myself though. Like, I just see it of just like, okay, even if this video is not a Final Fantasy 14 video, if I do believe if I make the best video about this other topic, even if it's given to my Final Fantasy 14 community, YouTube will still share it to other people that might potentially be interested, or that could show up in search. And if the video is good enough, then it will still do well. And over time, it can broaden my audience so that I can have videos that perform better. So I think about it, and I just think of it as a sense of just like, I need to figure out ways to make better videos. That's basically what I think about when I think about like my metrics not doing well.